and welcome to Devlog number 4. I'm Shirley, and I'm working on a farming game where you can grow mythical crops. In the last month, I set up controller support and a localization system for my game, and I'll demonstrate them in this video. Let's start with controller support. The game is now fully playable with controllers. I can move around, use items from the hotbar inventory, place and rotate furniture with a simulated cursor, interact with objects and NPCs, and navigate through menus. I can also switch between controller mode and keyboard and mouse mode easily during the game. To support controllers, I made two major changes. First, I changed the way interactions are detected. In keyboard and mouse mode, I detect interactions on right clicks using the cursor position. In controller mode, there's no cursor, so I initially implemented a detection point in front of the player, as I assumed players want to interact with things in front of them. But soon I realized it's too restrictive since you must align with the target. And this is even more difficult when the target is moving. So instead of using a detection point, now I'm using detection areas to detect interactable objects near the front of the player, to make controls easier in controller mode. The second major change is toggling tool shapes for tools that can target multiple tiles. My original design for keyboard and mouse is to enter precision mode when the shift key is held down to target only one tile. But this didn't work well on controllers because it's hard to hold down a button while also pressing other buttons for walking and using the tool. So I redesigned the tools to update their shape on each button press instead of when the button is held down to make the controls more comfortable. I added a settings menu with input remapping for keyboard and controller. This was the hardest part to implement since I need to be careful about which actions can't conflict with each other. I also added in-game action hints that display controller or keyboard input hints, depending on the current mode. These hints also update to reflect remapping settings. Next is the localization system. For this, I don't mean translating my game, but rather setting up the game to display translated texts depending on the language. Before, all texts were hard-coded in English, but now these texts are being translated into English. If I remove the translations, you can see the underlying texts are actually string keys that can be mapped to translated texts. For localization, I needed fonts that can display different languages. My game uses pixel art, so I've been using pixel fonts to match the art style. But these fonts only support Latin characters. To solve this issue, I added fallback fonts that support other languages and adjusted the pixel fonts using FontForge so their size matches with the fallback fonts. Finally, here's the weirdest bug for this devlog. If I hold the left joystick on my controller, go into the remap menu, release the joystick, then go back. That's it for this devlog. Thank you for watching, happy holidays, and see you next time.